care of the plants. For taking care, he has to provide them proper food. Just like for our survival, we need food. Similar way, the plants also need food. But our food requirement and the plants' food requirements are completely different from each other. So plants take inorganic substances and convert them into organic substances. That's the reason we call them as autotrophs. So autotrophs, that is the plants need inorganic substances and then they prepare their own food. They are not dependent on any other factor. They are dependent only on the minerals and the different components, minerals, atoms, molecules they are dependent on. So they are not dependent on any other factors. Any other organic food, they are not dependent. They are preparing their own organic food. So therefore, these are organic. That's the reason they are called as autotrophic. And by use of photosynthesis process, they can prepare their own food. But for that process, they need some raw materials. So raw materials, those are minerals. So last class, I already told you the minerals, that is the nitrogen, mostly the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen in the larger quantity. Apart from these three are the important components. And after that, the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, manganese, cobalt, nickel, chromium is also needed, iron needed, iodine needed, sulfur needed. So these components are also required in small quantities. So such substances are called as micro or macro nutrients. So these nutrients has to be provided. Naturally, these nutrients are present in the soil. So humus, when we are adding, top layer of the soil consists of humus. So that humus is organic matter. So these organic substances can be decomposed with the help of microorganisms and they return back the nutrients to the soil. So soil already has the nutrients, but that is not in a sufficient quantity. So therefore, farmers has to add external nutrients. Nutrients externally they have to add. So that is done by adding manure and fertilizers. The nutrient addition can be done by adding manures and fertilizers. Now, what are manures and what are fertilizers? So manures are organic waste when decomposed in the farmer's field. In the field itself, when the farmer is trying to decompose it with the help of microorganisms. So farmyard waste we also call it as. So that is we call as manure, which is prepared in the farm itself, and it is prepared. How it is prepared? He will collect first all organic waste. So the cutout leaf pills, cutout trees are there, parts of the trees are there, leaves, the dried leaves which are fallen down. So those leaves he can take it. Roots are there. Any plant has been uprooted, so that plant parts he can take. Even the animal excreta is used up. So all the organic waste is collected, dumped into a pit. A deep pit has been taken, it is created, and in that all these organic waste is keep on dumping it. The farmer will start dumping it and it will close it with the mud. After some days, with near about 1 month, 3 weeks or 4 weeks after that, this slowly the decomposition process has taken place, and then these all organic waste are decomposed, broken down into simpler substances that we call as nutrients by the microorganisms. So for by this way, whatever the thing is created, that we call as manure, and especially it is called as compost. So this process of composting can be also done with the help of earthworms. So then that type of a compost we call as wormy compost. So this process is called as composting, and if this composting is also done with the help of earthworms, then that is called as wormy compost. So these manures, these are other types of manures. Now these manure, that nutrients, they will add into the soil at the time of plowing, or even after the seeds are sown, that time also he keep on adding them. These are rich in nutrients. So these are actually rich in all the types of nutrients are available in those. They are not only one or two. All the types of nutrients are available in that manure. but it is all of them are present in a lesser quantity. They are not present in a more quantity. They are very less all the nutrients, but in a lesser quantity they are present. Okay, so that is manure. So manure provides more amount of all the types of nutrients, but the amount of those nutrients in a given quantity will be much lesser as compared to fertilizers. So, but manures provides organic factors. They add, when we are adding manure, the organic substances, organic waste also we are keep adding on in the soil. That is humus we keep on adding. So that is a natural uh, nutrient replenishment process also takes place along with the external addition. So it will maintain the soil fertility level. But after adding the manure, the soil fertility level is maintained because the along with the manure, the organic matter is get added up into the soil. So due to which the soil's fertility, that is microorganisms can survive because they are getting their own food. So therefore, these microorganisms can survive, keep on decomposing that organic matter, and they keep on natural replenishment of the nutrients are also taking place. So therefore, manures are very helpful for the soil. They maintain the fertility of the soil. Even due to addition of these manures, the sandy soil you have learned last year that is sandy soil is generally not used for growing the crops, but in the soil, in that sandy soil, if you add manure, then that sand will also become useful for the growth of the plant. So because their water retention property increases. And in clay soil also it is not so much is useful for the growth of the plant because it will retain more amount of water. But if you add manure into it, so that is its water percolation, seeping of that water will increase. So that means a more amount of water will not retain in the clay soil. So that clay soil also will become useful for growing plants. So sandy soil as well as clay soil are taken into consideration. Which means can be used. The farmers can use those soil also for cropping plants, for cropping pattern by adding of manure. So manures are actually more helpful as compared to fertilizers. And is the part of manure being clear? So manuring part clear to you?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So here I have given about the manure. We know that plant take nutrients from the soil, thus exhaust the soil of most of the nutrients with the passage of time. So when the time gets elapsing, the nutrients, nutrients which have already present in the soil is used up. So the soil will be deficient of nutrients. So therefore, manures and fertilizers are need to be added to the soil to replenish the plants, replenish plant nutrients. So manure is prepared by decomposition of plant and animal waste. Farm waste is dumped in the field and it's left to decompose. After some time, the farm waste may be covered with a layer of soil to hasten the process of decomposition. That is fasten, not hasten. Fasten the process of decomposition. Sometimes help of earthworm is also taken to fasten the process of fasten this process. Farmers also make compost pits to prepare manure. What are the advantages? Manure increase nutrients in the soil. It improves soil texture. That is, a sandy soil will become a sandy soil, or even the clay soil also can be used for planting. It improves water retaining capacity of the soil. It is free of any toxic materials. It is free from chemicals which are harmful to the plants. So therefore, they are very environmental friendly. So manures are environment friendly, and due to the preparation of manure, all the organic waste can be used up. So instead of throwing it out here and there, all the organic waste is used up. So this way, the waste generation also decreased by the process of manuring. Now, what are fertilizers? Fertilizers are the nutrients, the special nutrients created in the factories. They are rich in particular chemicals which are required for the plants. They are rich, but they do not add anything else other than the nutrients. So direct nutrients in the chemical form directly added to the soil. uh, there is no any organic matter added by use of fertilizers. Fertilizers do not add any organic matter, they only add chemicals to the soil. So that chemicals, it will be helpful for the plants. They will get the more quantity of a particular chemicals, particular nutrients, and regrow very fast. They will do by adding fertilizers. The plants' growth is seen very faster, but there is a problem also, that is excessive use of fertilizers. If the farmers are keep using fertilizers instead of manure, then due to the presence of those chemicals, this microorganisms cannot survive in that environment of fertilizers. Due to addition of fertilizers, soil turns acidic, and due to that acidic nature, these all microorganisms cannot survive, so they will die. So natural replenishment of the soil will not take place. So slowly, the fertility of the soil decreases. So that will be very harmful for the growth of the plants in such soil. So slowly that soil become useless. So therefore, along with fertilizers, the farmers needs to add manures time to time. So manures are always preferred over fertilizers. Fertilizers, again, there is a one problem, that is they are easily washed away with water, and then they pollute the water bodies nearby. So therefore, fertilizers are always, although they can increase the plant growth, but there are other problems they create. They are environmental. They are not environmental friendly. They are not decomposable further. So they are much more problematic for the means they will create a pollution. So that will be a difficult task to deal with. So therefore, the farmers always prefer manure over fertilizers. So here 3 more question can be asked. Why manures are always preferred over fertilizers? Give reason. It's clear? Is this part clear? Are you
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
understand?
ma'am. Yes,
Are
ma'am.
you able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So can you now this one tell me the difference between the manure and fertilizers one by one? Amitabh, can you tell me the first difference?
Excessive use of fertilizers can harm the nature and uh, the microbes which are in the soil. So manure is preferred instead of fertilizers, and ma- uh, it even saves waste, and then it wastes are used like for manure.
Yes.
Uh,
One by one. So when question is asked to differentiate between manures and fertilizers, so you have to make a column, and in that you have to write, and exactly one contrasting points you have to write on both the sides. So just like first thing, manure is prepared by decomposition of plants and animals. That will not come under. Manures adds organic matter to the soil, or manure add humus to the soil. That is a one point. And the
It can be prepared in farmhouse.
can be prepared in farmhouse. Yes, right. And fertilizers include only, do not add any humus to the soil. They directly add nutrients to the soil and prepared in factories. First point, contrasting point will come. Second point is manures help in improving soil fertility, but the excessive use of fertilizers decrease the soil fertility. Clear? Manure adds more nutrients but lesser in quantity. Fertilizers add lesser nutrients but more in quantity. Are these points clear? Are you able
Yes,
to
ma'am.
understand these points?
Yes,
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
ma'am.
write it down. Then write down these points right now.
From where we have to
And
write?
from
Here, adding manure and fertilizers from this part. From this part onwards. Ma'am, should we write fertilizers?
Ma'am, you're muted.
That is an important fertilizer name you have to remember. That is NPK. NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. N means nitrogen, P is for phosphorus, K is the symbol for potassium.
NPK.
NPK, yes. Its name itself NPK. Example of fertilizers.
Ma'am, should we write the advantages also?
Yes, everything till this part. Disadvantages of fertilizers. Everything till this part you have to write.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, in advantages of fertilizers, it's given that fertilizers give faster results compared to manure.
Yes, always. Yeah.
But then, how does
Excessive use of fertilizers causes the problem. Fertilizers are always better than the manure in case of growth of the plant. But when you are using it, when the farmers use continuously for longer period of a time, that causes the trouble to the soil as well as for crops. The soil's problem, soil's fertility will decrease. So therefore, that soil will not be fit for growth of crop.
yes, ma'am?
Done?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, done. Finished, ma'am.
Okay. Everyone completed?
Yes, ma'am.
That is addition. Now we have provided one part, that is the nutrients farmers has provided by use of manure or fertilizer. Then water is also important for the plants. So watering. So if the watering has been done, so we are planting. That process is called as regular intervals. When at different intervals the watering the plants is called as irrigation process. So here one more thing, that is other than replenishing the soil with nutrients, other than adding manures or fertilizers, there are different methods are also used which can help in nutrient replenishment. Replenishment means, what do you mean by replenishment? I'm keep on using the word as replenishment. What is replenishment means?
Making the soil fertile.
Addition of nutrients. Replenish. So we are adding more and more nutrients continuously after regular intervals. We are adding. So means already there, but we are keep on increasing its quantity because it is used up by the plants. So by used up by the plants, when they are used up, again it is added to the soil. So that is called replenishment. External addition, or internally the microorganisms are decomposing, by that one is happening. So what are some other methods of replenishing the soil with nutrients? That is, farmers don't sow any crops in that field, any seeds in that field for a one season. So for 4 month of duration, if it is this one's crop is taken from that plant, crops are grown, and after that for next 4 months they won't grow anything. That is called as fallow fielding. That means one season take a crop, grow the crop, and one season leave it for some duration so that the soil will get time to replenish the nutrients by itself. Instead of adding, we are giving the time to take a breath to soil. So immediately continuous taking crops, growing crops in that soil, the soil's fertility will decrease. So therefore, after taking one season, if 1 or 2 months duration, if the soil is left empty, it is not taken any crop from that plant, so that soil we have given time, given a break, so that it will start working again, regaining its nutrients again by itself. So that is called as fallow fielding. So by that method also, the nutrient replenishment can be done easily. That is one of the other method. And the second method is cropping patterns. Different cropping patterns has been taken into consideration. Farmers generally don't try to sow only one type of a field or one type of a crop in the soil. So there are many other methods are there. So generally farmers will start taking two different types of a crop at a time. So due to this, what happens, whatever the nutrients are present at a time, they will be used up. So two different plants with two different nutrient requirement plants has been grown in the soil. For example, one's requirement is nitrogen and the second's requirement is phosphorus, suppose. First one will only need the nitrogen, so it will take all the nitrogen, and the second crop can be taken as phosphorus, which needs the phosphorus as a main nutrient. So that plant, if they are grown, so nitrogen and phosphorus both can be utilized at a time. So next time addition, the both will be added back to the soil. So that is, this type of a method is called as mixed cropping, or intercropping pattern is called. So this, with this, what happened when one type of a crop is continuously we are farmer is taking, then only one type of a nutrient is taken up from the soil, and all other nutrients are already present. And due to addition of a manure, what happens, we are keep adding the same nutrients again and again, again and again, again and again. So there is a bunch of the one particular nutrient will take place, and that also causes a trouble. A single type of nutrient should not be present in the soil for larger quantity. So therefore, whatever the nutrients has been added, that has to be utilized by the plants. All the nutrients should be utilized. So all plants won't take all the types of nutrients. So some will take nitrogen, some will take phosphorus, some will take urea, some will take potassium. There are the different requirements are there. So according to the requirements, the plants can be taken. Different cropping patterns has been used for that. Or sometimes what happens, instead of this, intercropping will not that much help out, the crop rotation will help out in nutrient replenishment. In that, for example, what happened, one season one type of a crop has been taken. Suppose the plant which require more nitrogen, that crop has been taken for sown in the soil. So that year, that season, what happens, all the nitrogen present in the soil is used up. As well as one more important factor happens, whenever the plants which needs a more amount of nitrogen, in the roots of that plant there are some bacteria grows which can convert atmospheric nitrogen into water soluble nitrates. The process of nitrogen fixation takes place. So this is
Yes, sir.
also happening. Although the plants is taking nitrogen, but there is a process is also going on which is converting atmospheric nitrogen into water soluble nitrates, the form in which the plants absorb nitrogen. So if one season that process is going on, the next season the second crop is taken which don't need nitrogen. Thus farmers think very wisely. First season he will take the crop which needs nitrogen, and the second season, the very next season after that crop, the next crop he will take from the soil, he will sow in that soil which do not require nitrogen. So due to that, what happened, due to that, what will be taking, what is possibilities are there, what possibilities are there due
The
to,
nitrogen can be replenished.
yes, in the next season we will get the time, the bacteria is already present, they will start converting atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates. So that means the next 4 month duration has been given to those microorganisms to convert nitrogen into required form. So the 4 month duration has been given to replenishment of the nitrogen again. It's clear? So this is called as crop rotation methods. So these are also the different methods which are used for improving the soil nutrients, increasing the soil nutrients. So here it is fallow field. When the field is left uncultivated for a season, it is called fallow field. Leaving the field fallow allow the soil to recuperate, that means replenish nutrients through natural process. And crop rotation, this is time tested method, has been used by farmers since a long time. This involves growing a leguminous crop between two successive cereal crops. Rhizobium bacteria live in the root nodules of the legume plants. These bacteria help in nitrogen fixation in the soil. Thus, legume plants facilitate replenishment of nutrient in the soil. It's clear?
Ma'am, should we write about it?
Yeah, write down this one. Some books have included these parts. Completed?
No, ma'am.
Should we write irrigation?
No, don't write irrigation. Completed? Upper part?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next part is now providing water. The supplying water to the crops at different intervals is called as irrigation process. Irrigation is a process by which water is supplied to the crops at different intervals. Water is very, very important. Just like if we don't drink water, what will happen? We cannot survive more than a 1 day. 2 days maximum we can live without water, but not after that. Same thing happened with the plants also. Plants also cannot survive without water because plants, for different chemical reaction taking place in the plants, needs water. Process of photosynthesis will take place only in presence of water. Water is very important for the growth of the plant and for the different activities taken place in the plant. Water is very, very important. So water has to be given, supplied to the plants at different intervals, has to be supplied. So maybe morning, evening, sometimes when the temperature is more, at that time 3 times daily or maybe 4 times daily also watering has to be done. So supplying of water has to be done. So that process is called as irrigation process. There are different methods by which the water is supplied to the plants. There are different sources by which water is available. The main source is India. The main source of water in the India is a rain. But apart from that, it's not possible that is a rain is not throughout the year. So farmers has to depend on different sources of water. Those are, it includes wells, tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers, dams, and canals as well. So on these water, the irrigation can be done. The different ways of irrigations are traditional methods and some modern methods. This one is wrong. So traditional methods and this is modern methods. So traditional methods, chain pump are there, moat is there, Dekli, or even Rahat, liver systems are present. So by this way, the watering, you can see there is a water stagnant. This is a paddy field. So therefore, water need to be remain stagnant throughout the plant grows. So watering is very, very important for the growth of the plants. Kharif crops needs large amount of water. Rabi crops needs less amount of water. So this, how this watering, a traditional way watering done, sub irrigation done, is seen here. First, I will show you something else that you will get to know exact different methods of irrigation. Give me a second time. Are you able to see something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, a video.
Water is essential for the germination and growth of crop plants.
Are you able to hear something?
Water is supplied
Yes,
to
ma'am.
agricultural fields either naturally through rainfall or artificially through canals or other systems. The artificial supply of water to agricultural fields is called irrigation. Irrigation can be done using different methods. Before learning about these methods, let us find out how irrigation is important for crop production. In the absence of rainfall, irrigation maintains the minimum amount of moisture required for crop production. It maintains proper growth of crops and helps to protect them against frost and hot air currents. The duration, time gap and amount of irrigation are determined by the type of soil and crop and also the season in which a crop is sown. Different methods of irrigation have been used since humans took to agriculture. The traditional methods of irrigation are a moat or pulley system, a chain pump system, Dhekli system and Rahat system. Of late, these methods of irrigation have been replaced with modern methods like sprinkler system and drip system. Let us learn about all these methods, starting with the traditional methods. A moat system is one of the simplest and cheapest irrigation systems. In this, water is drawn from a well or water source by a bucket attached to a rope. The rope is passed over a pulley and fixed to an animal. The animal walks down an earthen slope away from the well to lift water. The water is then emptied into a channel and the fields are irrigated. In a chain pump system, two large wheels connected by a chain are positioned at an angle to each other. One wheel is near the source and the other is near the sink. One end of the chain dips into a pool of water. The chain carries the buckets. As the wheel turns with the help of a shaft and handle, the buckets dip into the pool and draw water. The chain then lifts the buckets to the upper wheel, where they are tipped and dumped into an upper pool. The chain then carries the empty buckets down to be refilled. The water in the pool is then released by gates into channels, which act as artificial streams to water the crops. In the Dhekli system of irrigation, water is drawn from a water source with the help of a log of wood placed on a fork-shaped tree for support. The log is tied to a large stone which acts as a lever. A bucket is tied to the other end of the log. During irrigation, the rope tied to the bucket is pulled down so that the bucket goes into the water source and fills up with water. The bucket is again drawn up by pulling up the rope. The water is then collected manually and poured into the channels. Rahat system of irrigation involves two wheels, one placed vertically over a water source, typically an open well, and the other placed horizontally at a distance. A belt of buckets is fixed to the first wheel and an ox, buffalo, or camel is tied to the other wheel. As the animal pulls the wheel around in a circular motion, it sets in motion the first wheel with the buckets, which draw water from the water source, and irrigate the fields. The traditional methods of irrigation are cost-effective but time-consuming. Thus, these methods have been replaced with drip system and sprinkler system. Let us learn about these two methods in detail. A sprinkler system is used in arid and uneven regions as an alternative method of irrigation. This system employs many perpendicular pipes with rotating nozzles at the top, installed at regular intervals. The pipes are placed on the field and are connected to the main pipelines that emerge from the main water storage tank. Water is conveyed under high pressure through the pipes with the help of a pump. The water comes out from the rotating nozzles in the form of spray, somewhat as rain. In a drip irrigation system, water is delivered at or near the root zone of crops drop by drop. A drip irrigation system is the most efficient system of irrigation as there is absolutely no wastage of water. This system is mostly used in areas with poor water availability. Both the modern systems of irrigation are costly but require less labor and time. In this module you have learned irrigation is the artificial method of supplying water to crop fields to assist crop production. A motor pulley system, a chain pump system, Dhekli and Rahat are traditional methods of irrigation. They are cost-effective but time-consuming. A sprinkler system and a drip system are modern methods of irrigation. They are costly but require less labor and time. Methods.
Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All
Yes,
traditional
ma'am.
methods, different traditional methods and modern methods of irrigation, is that clear to you? Okay. Then only write down this part. Only this part write down, this square. Method clear, right?
Mom, till types.
Yeah, only types. Traditional method and this one, these 4 examples also.
Okay, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Wait for some time.
Ma'am, science class in this idea only, na, ma'am?
Yeah, same.
Okay.
But after some time it will start. Modern methods, right on this part. Modern methods of irrigation. After that,
Write the 4 examples.
yeah. For example,
Mom, can you please go up?
what happened? Do faster, faster. You have to write fast.
Can you go a little up?
Why this much also you have not written? 4 lines. You people are writing very slow. Improve your speed.
Ma'am,
Write very faster because you are very slow. These are this modern irrigation methods.
we have to write the paragraph.
Yes, sprinkler and drip irrigation. Modern methods of irrigation explanation is asked in exam for 2 marks. Sorry. And write faster. Light on color, yes. Completed?
Yes, ma'am.
Themselves.
Yes, ma'am.
The next part is protection. So plants needs protection from different factors. That is, one of the factor is weeds. Second factor is insects, pests, microorganisms. So farmers has to protect them from getting damaged by the pests. So damage causing organisms to the crops are called as pests. Pests can be insects, rodents, microorganism, mites. Different types of mites are also present, which can easily bore into the stem, cut the leaves, eat the seeds. Birds also eat the seeds. So the farmers has to protect plants from those. One of the thing is weeds also. So for insects and all those, he can use this that insects from pesticides. He will use insecticides are used, herbicides are used, fungicides are used to protection from the particular type of pests. So pest, different varieties of a pest, different organisms are different medicines are available which can be sprayed over the plants to get rid of all those insects. So that is the pesticides, herbicides, fungicides are used. One more protection has to be done, that is from the weeds. Now what are weeds? So along with the crop, we know that is that field is completely occupied by the particular type of a crop. Now, if apart from that crop, if anything else is growing in that farm, then that plant is considered as a weed. Any grass may be growing, maybe another earlier season, whatever the crop has been taken, maybe that roots left out. So those plants also sometimes start growing in that field. So anything apart from the crops growing in that field is called as weed. The unwanted, undesired plants growing naturally along with the crops are called as weeds. So these undesirable plants which are growing along with the crops are called as weeds. So weeds to listen, why weeds has to be removed? What is the necessity of removing these weeds? So we
Because
need,
they can cause competition.
yes, explain.
Um, they contain competition for sunlight, space, and water.
Okay, due to that what happens?
Ma'am,
Due to that what will happen?
the unhealthy growth of plants, or you can say crops.
Yeah, crops. So crops whichever growing, the space is all actually need to be occupied by the actual desired crops. But along with that, there are other crops are growing. So they are taking the space of the main crop. They are using the nutrients which are provided to the required crops. They are using sunlight also, which is actually if they are growing more bigger in size, then they may shade the plants. The plant other crops will get the shade of those, and due to that the crops which we the farmer needs will not get sufficient sunlight, so can't grow properly. Healthy growth of the plants cannot be seen because of this competition. So due to that, that weed has to be removed. The removal of weeds can be done by spraying some chemicals called as weedicides. One of the example of weedicide is 2,4-D, is chemical name. It is sprayed on those weeds, so weeds can be removed. Even by manual uprooting those plants can be done. Cutting them very close to the ground also can be done with the help of khurpi, sickle, or at the time of plowing also. Plowing at the time of plowing, much precaution has to be taken. That is everything, whatever the left out parts of the earlier season crops are there, has to be completely uprooted. Nothing has to be left out. Any root should not be left in that one. So at the time of plowing, proper plowing is done, then the weeds won't grow. So precaution has to be taken at the time of plowing. Plowing has to be done deep down the earth so that no roots left behind before sowing the other this new crops. So that has to be taken place. And if after that also if anything is growing, the continuous time to time manual plucking of those plants has to be done so that it is easier to remove them and they will not grow and they will not hinder the growth of the required plants. Okay. So for that, weeds need to be removed, and removing methods manually as well as spraying some chemicals called as weedicides. It's clear? Is this part clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
One thing, this is, yeah. Mona, are you listening?
Ma'am, due to some network issues, I couldn't hear you properly today.
What is going on behind you? Something else is also working.